Good afternoon, dear students. Now we are going to continue with bioleaching. So yeah, in the last presentation, we discussed about bioleaching. What is bioleaching? It is a process of extraction of metal from their ores, especially low-grade ores. Okay, utilizing microorganisms to extract out metal from the low-grade ores or poor ores, where conventional process of taking out ore by the process of smelting is not economical at all. Okay, because the amount of metal present in the ore is very less. In that case, we can practice bioleaching, and bioleaching is economical as well as it's a very, very simple process. Okay, in the last presentation, we discussed about extraction of copper or bioleaching of copper by using chalcopyrite ore. Okay, and that too by indirect method. We can do it directly by direct method or by indirect method. So by leaching of copper or leaching of uranium can be done by direct as well as indirect method. In direct method, the microorganisms, the contents of the microorganisms are in direct contact with the metal ore, metal sulfide, okay, mineral sulfide. Here, in case of indirect method, which we discussed, the microorganisms are not in direct contact with the metal ore. Rather, it's a ferrous ferric cycle which brings about the leaching of metal. Okay. Now let us discuss about bioleaching of uranium. Now, the continued depletion of high-grade ores and growing concern regarding environmental problems that are associated with the traditional or conventional method have compelled us to explore simple, efficient, less polluting biological methods in uranium mining also. Okay, so high-grade ores are continuously depleting. Then there are so many environmental issues. Okay, then there is so much of energy consumption in your conventional or traditional method. So now we want a less polluting biological method for uranium mining also. So apart from this, the hydrometallurgical methods have some limitations like low recovery, increase in pollution load of water resources, and high energy cost. So bioleaching or microbial leaching comes to our rescue as an option for conventional or traditional method of extraction, right? So bitterite or branorite or uraninite are the commonly used ores for uranium extraction. Which organisms are generally used most often? Acidithiobacillus ferrooxidans, formerly known as Thiobacillus ferrooxidans, which lives in pyrite ore. The formula of pyrite is FeS2. Okay. So acidithiobacillus ferrooxidans, which lives in pyrite ore deposit, metabolizes iron and sulfur and produces sulfuric acid. Okay, this organism is used for bioleaching of uranium. It's a gram-negative bacteria belonging to the phylum Proteobacteria. It is a mesophilic bacteria and grows at highly acidic pH, that is around 2 to 3. Okay, so acidithiobacillus ferrooxidans is used for bioleaching of uranium. It's a gram-negative bacteria belonging to the phylum. It's a gram-negative bacteria belonging to the phylum Proteobacteria. It's a mesophilic bacteria and highly acidic environment is required for its growth. The two major mechanisms of microbial leaching, okay, as I told you now, one is direct method and another is indirect method. So we here are going to discuss extraction of uranium by indirect method involving ferrous ferric cycle, rather ferric ferrous cycle. Okay. Now again, the process, as we studied for copper, this process is also divided into two steps. The first step is the non-microbial step and the second step is microbial step. In the first step, what happens? A solution containing ferric sulfate is sprayed on the low-grade uranium ore, which is filled in column. It may be, in case of copper, it may be a heap, or it may be the copper ore may be filled in column. Here, the solution which contains ferric sulfate is sprayed on the low-grade ore of uranium, which is filled in a column. What happens when you spray ferric sulfate? The insoluble uranium that is present in the low-grade ore, okay, is solubilized, or rather you can say it is oxidized by, it is oxidized into uranium sulfate by ferric sulfate, okay, by reaction with ferric sulfate, while ferric sulfate itself gets reduced and gets converted into ferrous sulfate. That means you spray ferric sulfate on the uranium ore, okay, And when you spray ferric sulfate on the uranium ore, the uranium which was present in insoluble form in the ore now gets converted into soluble form, and ferric ions present in ferric sulfate get reduced to ferrous ion Fe+2. Okay, so this is the reaction. Ferric sulfate reacts with the uranium ore. Uranium gets converted into soluble form of uranium sulfate, and ferrous sulfate is formed. So the liquid coming out of the column contains ferrous sulfate and soluble uranium compound. The soluble uranium compound are then extracted out by suitable method. Okay, so the soluble uranium compound can be extracted by suitable method, crystallized and concentrated, whereas the rest of the liquid which contains ferrous sulfate is sent into a vessel which contains microorganism. Okay, so first you take the ore in the column, spray with ferric sulfate. The ore containing uranium is allowed to undergo reaction with ferric sulfate. Ferric sulfate gets reduced to ferrous sulfate, and the uranium present in the ore gets solubilized. The soluble uranium compound is from the soluble uranium compound, uranium is extracted out by suitable processes, and the liquid which contains ferrous sulfate is sent into a vessel which contains microorganisms, right? What will the microorganism do? Microorganism will reoxidize Fe+2 and you'll get back Fe+3. That means ferrous sulfate is reoxidized back into ferric sulfate, which can be now used for the first step again, and the cycle continues. The second step is the microbial step. The liquid containing ferrous sulfate is collected in a suitable vessel. Okay, the suitable vessel contains what? Sulfur pyrite ore. It is transferred to a suitable vessel which contains sulfur that is pyrite ore, FeS2, and special group of bacteria, that is Acidithiobacillus ferrooxidans. What happens first? The oxidation of sulfur is brought about by microbes. Okay, the Acidithiobacillus ferrooxidans, what it does, it brings about oxidation of sulfur first. Okay, present in the pyrite ore, and then it results into the formation of sulfuric acid, which acts on pyrite to form ferrous sulfate. Okay. So more of ferrous sulfate gets collected. The ferrous sulfate formed here, as well as the ferrous sulfate already present in the liquid transferred from previous section, gets oxidized into ferric sulfate by the action of microorganisms. Okay, we have to add small quantity of inorganic fertilizer to this vessel where microorganisms are growing to ensure that nitrogen, phosphate, potassium, trace elements, okay, required for the growth of organism are present there. Okay, and trace element limitation does not occur, and microbial growth is not affected during the whole process, right? So what happens in the vessel where we have added or dumped the liquid containing ferrous sulfate, we also keep there the pyrite ore and we inoculate with the organism Acidithiobacillus ferrooxidans. What the organism, first sulfur is oxidized and it gets converted into sulfuric acid, whereas the sulfur present in the pyrite ore is acted upon by sulfuric acid, and what we get? Ferrous sulfate. Now this ferrous sulfate, as well as the one which we have added from the during the first step of uranium extraction, together they are converted into ferric sulfate by the microorganism. The elemental sulfur that is generated by indirect leaching can be converted into sulfuric acid by Acidithiobacillus. Now the solution containing ferrous sulfate is now pumped into the vessel and sprayed on the solution. Okay, see, after all these steps are over, what we get back is the ferric sulfate. Okay, so this ferric solution containing ferric sulfate is now pumped back into the vessel and it is sprayed on the low-grade uranium ore as done earlier in the first step, and the whole process, the whole cycle of two-step cycle is repeated. Okay. So this is a vessel containing low-grade uranium ore. What do you spray? Ferric sulfate is sprayed. Ferric sulfate is sprayed, that means uranium gets solubilized. So you get soluble uranium compound, and ferric sulfate is reduced to ferrous sulfate. Okay. Now the whole liquid is transferred into a vessel from where you precipitate out the uranium and crystallize it. And the remaining liquid containing ferrous sulfate is transferred into a vessel. In this vessel, you have added Acidithiobacillus ferrooxidans. At the same time, you have their pyrite ore. Okay, and you also add certain fertilizers, certain chemical compounds which will supply nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and trace elements required for the growth of organism. Okay, in this case, all the ferrous sulfate that is formed by the organism itself by using pyrite ore, as well as the ferrous sulfate generated during the first step, together all the ferrous sulfate will be converted into ferric sulfate. This is pumped back so that it can be sprayed on the low grade uranium ore and the cycle continues. This is about bioleaching of uranium. This is how we take out uranium. Okay, so ore crushing, grinding, what will you subject it to bioleaching? You have to maintain the temperature, oxygen and all. Okay, we have studied in situ, or it can be taken in vat, or it can be taken in tank or heap or dump, whatever. So you take the ore in situ, in a vat or in a tank or in a column, okay, and microorganism produce when you spray ferric chloride, what happens? The liquor comes out, uranium is concentrated, precipitated, thickening and drying, and then you get a yellow cake of uranium. Flow rate of leaching is 120 liter per hour, which can be continued for 7 to 9 days. An appreciable uranium biorecovery of 68% could be obtained by this process. Okay, so bioleaching will help you in extracting out, if it is continued for 7 to 9 days, it will help you in extracting out 68% of the metal from the, 68% of uranium from the ore. So what are the advantages? Process is simple. We don't require too much of technical knowledge, and it's eco-friendly and less polluting process. So limitations we have already discussed. Where the bioleaching is a very slow process and it may cause pollution because toxic chemicals are formed as a result of during the process of bioleaching. So pollution of surrounding may take place, right? Hence, we have to take care that the setup of bioleaching must be carefully planned, right? So that is all about bioleaching of copper and uranium.